welcome. So today I was thinking about doing a little meet and greet with my newest male boa constrictor. So let's bring him out. Alright guys, this is Rasputin, my newest boa constrictor male. He's a Colombian Motley and I really adore his markings. I think he's looking absolutely stunning. You may have met Rasputin very briefly in my 300 subscribers video, but this time I really want to give a proper introduction to him because he really deserves that. As you can see, Rasputin is quite active. That is not uncommon for boas. In my experience, it's always the male boas that are more active than the females. Of course, that probably varies and someone has a very different experience than I do. Maybe they've experienced that it's only the females who are very active. But in here, it's almost the males. Rasputin, Alistair, and Artemis are all males and they all seem to be the one who are the most active. The females seems to be the one who are the most calmest and the ones who really seem to tolerate me handling them. But as you can see, Rasputin here, he's full of energy, he really is. It's really hard for me to get him to stand a little bit still so you can see his markings. Oh, here we go. So Rasputin here, a male, I think he's around 7 years old if I remember correctly. He was, I bought him from Danish breeder Andreas Wulff, which is also where I bought Pearl. And Pearl, who is my Eclipse boa, is actually the daughter of Rasputin. So it's father and daughter and I have together. And I think that's wonderful. I do think you can see a little bit of Pearl from the way his face looks. But maybe that's just me. So a Colombian Motley, which means that he's also a morph. As I talked about before, the morph types in boa constrictors are really booming now. Before that, I really thought that the ball python definitely took the first place in that. There are so many types of morphs in there. But boa constrictors, they are really getting on to that. There are so many new morph types and Pearl, my Eclipse, was a morph type that was discovered in 2012. So it's really something new and I really adore it because I think it really suits the boa constrictors to be in all these different colors with all these different kinds of markings. Especially the Colombian Motleys. I absolutely adore Motleys. You can get them in all sorts of various looks, but I generally really like Motleys a lot. When I got the chance to buy Rasputin here, I really wanted to. I think he's so gorgeous looking. I do have a thing for darker looking snakes. I don't know why, but I really do. He's calmed down a little bit. I have to admit, when I bought Rasputin home, I was a bit scared, but because he was so fast, like he was so fast. I couldn't, with the other snakes, I can put them down without, you know, worrying about them too much. Not with Rasputin here. The moment I put him down, he was just gone, like gone. He's so fast when you put him on the ground. So you really have to be on your tiptoes in order to catch up with him. Also, he's very strong. I don't know if you can see it, but he's really squishing my hands. He's constantly searching for somewhere to be somewhere else. So we are working very much on this handling thing. Usually it's always a good idea with a snake breed who is used to being handled if you're buying one. In general, I do think that especially boas can get used to being handled. If you're just being very calm with them, as you can see with Rasputin, I'm trying to be very calm, very slow movements, no sudden shaking, no sudden nothing, just very calm, just really trying to let my... Alright guys, I'm sorry about the interruption. My camera's battery ran completely low and it just turned off. And when I stood up and went to try and change it, Rasputin kind of freaked out. And so I thought it was best to just put him back in his terrarium. But what I do have for you guys instead is I do have all of these wonderful pictures where you really can get to see his markings and his colors and really get to see everything that is so gorgeous about him. As I talked about before, Rasputin is a very active snake. He's not used to being handled. You could clearly see that he was very uncomfortable in the situation. He wasn't relaxing, he was actively searching for somewhere to be and he was very active. Rasputin was, as far as I know, bred and lived his whole life in a rack system. And racks are when you basically have them in these kind of, I like to call them like drawers or boxes, and you just, and they have nothing but newspapers and then some water and they just live their whole life in pretty much darkness. I think that might be the reason why Rasputin is a bit uncomfortable when he's out and there's light and there's all sorts of stuff, and he's never really being used to handle. Rasputin is a breeder, which means that's basically what he was bred to do and has been doing his whole life, as far as I know. So this is also why I condone that you learn a little bit about the story of your snake, because that might give you an idea when they might react to something they're not used to. But Rasputin here, he is really doing well, and we try to handle him very often, not for long, just a little bit, being very calm, being very still, just getting him used to the feeling of hands and the feeling of being outside. And then maybe slowly he will get used to it and might actually be able to relax when he's out. We had the same trouble with Alistair, but fortunately now Alistair's getting so much better, he can actually relax when I have him outside. So that was a very short video. Not only was it about meeting Rasputin, but also a little video on how to handle a very active snake. I'm not gonna call him a difficult or an angry one or something like that, but because he's just not used to being handled. Buying a snake the size of Rasputin, you really have to think twice about that. Because even though Rasputin wasn't bigger than he was, you could clearly see him in my hands, he was still very strong, and he was really squeezing on my hand, like really tight, to the point where it became really uncomfortable. So you have to be aware of that. So if you're gonna buy your first boa, maybe go for someone a bit small. You don't have to go a hatchling if you don't want. You can easily go someone who has a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger size, but don't go for the big ones, not as your first time snake. Don't do that, because you might be surprised by the strength that these animals actually have. Like with Baby, as you can see here, Baby is a big girl. Timmy and I made a deal saying that we cannot take her out alone, we have to be minimum 2 people. Not that Baby is angry or a bad snake, not at all. She's very kind, and she's very tolerant of us. She really is. I would never ever dream of her hurting us. But she is a reptile, and you do have to take that into your considerations, that she is a big girl, and if she squeezes around my neck, I won't be able to take her off. That's also another thing to think about. I know big snakes are cool, I love big snakes, but really you have to be very careful. You really do. Thank you guys, that's all for today. I really do hope you enjoyed meeting Rasputin. We will definitely do some updates on him, so you can really see how he is working and how he's evolving and how he's getting used to this handling stuff. And I think that's quite exciting, because he's the first snake that I actually have to teach to being handled, besides Alistair. But Alistair we had from when he was very small. This is a big snake. Thank you guys, I really do hope you're gonna have a wonderful Monday night. Please give the video a like so I know that you like what I make, and while you're at it, just hit subscribe on that channel too. If you have any comments and questions, please don't hesitate to put it in the comments right below. I really love reading your comments, and I try my best to answer every single one of you. Also, you can find me on Instagram under the name jossersjungle. Thank you for now, and bye bye.